أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على رسولنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. So now we are at Surah An-Nas, which is the last surah in Musaf order and 21st surah in the Revelation order, right after Falaq. So a very quick look at the surah in its entirety. قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ, say, I seek refuge in the Lord of mankind. مَلِكِ النَّاسِ, the king, the sovereign of mankind. إِلَهِ النَّاسِ, the God of mankind. مِنْ شَرِّ الْوَسْوَاسِ الْخَنَّاسِ, from the evil of the sneaking whisperer. الَّذِي يُوَسْوِسُ فِي صُدُورِ النَّاسِ, who whispers in the chest of mankind. مِنَ الْجِنَّةِ وَالنَّاسِ, of the jinn and of mankind. I guess we could have replaced mankind with people all over as well, since mankind sounds a little too, I don't know, humanity level sort of a thing.
Womankind?
Yeah, humankind, you're right. Yes, you're right. Okay. So, inshallah, let's split it into three pieces. First 3 verses, then the next 2 verses, and then the last verse. قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ. This surah also starts with أعوذ. We talked about أعوذ when we were discussing Al-Falaq, so let's very quickly remember what we mentioned back then. Do you feel the need to seek refuge in certain occasions? When, from whom, to whom? Was our question that we asked for قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ. And just as a recap, Falaq, when we were discussing Falaq was, the way we studied it is more about splitting apart, opening up. So we were seeking refuge in the one who split things open. There were examples of that in Quran. Faliqul Hab, so the splitter of the seed. Faliqul Isbah, the splitter of the day. And the third example we read was Fanfalaqa, when it happens for Musa alayhi salam splitting the sea. So the idea of falaq, and in Surah Al-Falaq, the word falaq was the 4th time appearing in Quran. So that means splitting. And as we were discussing, Rabbil Falaq means the creation was really happening, something was splitting open, something else was being created out of it. So Rabbil Falaq simply means this ongoing creation, that something is being split, something else is being created out of it. So attracting our attention to that. And we were seeking refuge in Rabbil Falaq. Now we are seeking refuge in Rabbin Nas, Malikin Nas, Ilahin Nas. We'll get to that. But why would we seek refuge? If we can quickly remember what was the point with that? Why would you even seek refuge in someone?
You feel some sort of insecurity, fear.
Yeah, so I have some insecurity, I am in need, and then from whom or to whom do you seek refuge in? Someone who can provide shelter, provide security. So there is something that I am in need of, and which is beyond my capacity. So I seek refuge in someone who can provide me security. So this is the idea. And existentially, human is needy, infinitely needs we have. At the same time, human is infinitely important, not important, but important, meaning we don't have anything at hand. A lot of needs, yet nothing at hand. So by creation, I am in need of seeking refuge in someone who can save me, who can provide me shelter. And actually, as we will conclude the surah, in terms of its Mus'haf ordering, there's a very interesting relationship between Fatiha and Mu'awwizatayn, Falaq and Nas. Because in Fatiha, we are also إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين, we are seeking refuge, seeking help from Him alone. This is how we start the surah, and this is the Quran, the guidance, and this is how we end it, again, seeking refuge in Him. So in this sense, we can say that this seeking refuge is a general theme of Quran when it comes to human. Because I am needy, and to whom shall I turn to? So, and by the school, we also talked about this in the previous discussion. We are being instructed to say so, and that means it's the guidance I'm in need of. I am being taken serious that the Creator is speaking to me. So I am being taken as a vicegerent. Another meaning of vicegerent in this case is somebody takes me serious, talks to me, and says, you also should say that. So there's this guidance aspect of it. So these were the things that we discussed before. So I'm not spending too much time on that. But if you have any comments that I forgot to mention, let us hear. If not, we'll jump into Rabbin Nas, Malikin Nas, Ilahin Nas. Okay. So we have three names in these three consecutive verses. قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس. Lord, Rabb, which has the meanings of maintainer, caretaker, or merciful teacher, as we talked about it before in the context of Iqra. Malik means king or sovereign, and this has the notion of owner and overseer, like someone who creates, but also has a say on my day-to-day activities, someone who is governing me. And then Ilah, God is creator. These are the three different words, and all of them are used for Nas. An-Nas. So, okay. So there would be a bunch of questions which are all related to each other. So if I go out of order, sorry about that.
What's Ilah?
Ilah is God, creator. The strongest notion of Ilah is creator. It is probably the most general word. And I'm going to ask about why are these three names and why is this ordering? We'll get to that too. So if the surah was to say that قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْإِنسَانِ مَلِكِ الْإِنسَانِ إِلَهِ الْإِنسَانِ, it didn't say that. It is talking about of people, humanity, all the people. Why not a single human, but humanity or mankind is being mentioned in here? And although we didn't discuss the next verses yet, but the main notion in here is going to be seeking refuge from the whisperer. So I am seeking refuge from my Rabb, my Lord, my Malik, my Ilah. I seek refuge from him, from the whisperer. So this is the notion of seeking refuge here. But when I refer to him, I do not say that, for example, I seek refuge in the creator of heavens and the earth, the Lord of the heavens and the earth, the king of the heavens and the earth, from the whisperer. I don't say that. But I describe him as humans or humanity's Rabb, Malik, and Ilah. What does this tell you? Anything about that? Let's think about it together. Is the question clear? Like there are potential different ways the verse could have happened. Those three names could have been different. Instead of An-Nas, it could have been قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّي بِمَلِكِي بِإِلَهِ, of me, for example. It didn't happen this way. It could have happened قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْإِنسَانِ, like as a singular, Rabb of human, Ilah of human, Malik of human. None of these happened. Also, it's not that creator of heavens and the earth or any, none of these. I am seeking refuge in creator of all the humans, Rabb of all the humans, Malik of all the humans. Why is that? Yes.
Because you're looking, your outlook has to be at humanity as a whole. Maybe you're saying, oh, I see, most of humanity is misguided, and I want to, seek refuge for mankind, or you're seeking refuge from mankind, maybe the harms of mankind, and you want, the owner of mankind to protect you from this creation.
Good. Actually, when it comes to seeking refuge, so from a harm, I am seeking refuge. So what I'm hearing from you is source of that harm could be from humanity as well. This is why I seek refuge from the Lord of the humanity.
Right.
Like, for example, if somebody's dog is attacking me, whose help will I ask first? Like, take your dog away. To the owner, you will say that, take away the dog. If I am unable to control the dog, I'll ask to the owner. So, yeah, this is one way to say that the harm is coming from somehow from humanity. That's why I'm seeking refuge from him. And it's as a collective humanity, not by a single person. But sometimes it's happening that humanity is giving me those, well, we'll get to that, but whispers. And I must be somehow feeling vulnerable to it so that I seek refuge from the creator of those humanity. But we'll talk more about that when it comes to whispers. What's a whisper? Yes, Dor.
I'm also thinking that maybe if it's speaking to humanity, it's speaking to the fitrat of man and human. It's because it's not like Lord of all creation. It doesn't include angels. It doesn't include like anything else. It's just talking about humanity. So perhaps it's talking about how man is created weak and created in need of help and created, wanting to go towards wrong things and making mistakes.
So then this is different than what Atik was saying. So in this case, now you're saying is I, as a vulnerable creation, I am in need of your help. Because in Atik's case, there was this attack was coming from human, and I was asking the owner of human to say that, save me from these humans. In this other case, as a human, I feel weak, I feel vulnerable, so I seek refuge in you as my maker. I mean, you made me, and I am feeling weak, so from you, I seek help. It's not like I am saying that, oh, God made me with a missing part, and I try to find somebody else to fix it. I'm not doing that, but saying that I am made as such, I feel vulnerable, and seeking refuge in him. Okay, so then comes these questions, of course. When we say Rabbin Nas, Malikin Nas, Ilahin Nas, what is my answer to those? Because when I say I seek refuge in Rabbin Nas, whom do I think is the Rabb of humanity?
Before that, I want to speak more.
Okay.
I also think mankind it's seeming to me like it's talking about a system of people. So it's not just so that's how it's different from insan, because insan would talk about like one person, but mankind is talking about like a system of people. So you see people dying, and then you see people being born. And then in that, it's also like Rabbin Nas. So it's like maintainer of that system and maintain. So it's giving me the idea that there is a plan behind it, and it's happening by some wisdom and reason. That's the impression that it's giving.
Okay, that's good. So, and let's pick up on that. So if it was Malik al-Insan or Rabb al-Insan, we could only focus on me as a human. It could be with all my senses and everything within me, not only my physical body. But when it says Nas, then it's another creation that human relationships are here. So, which is part of the creation. There is mother-child relationship, and then husband-wife relationship, friend relationship. All these are part of the creation as well. And actually, it's a very important part of the creation as well. Because when we look at, let's say, particles, atoms, like electrons, protons, yeah, this is an important part of the creation. DNA, important part of the creation. But human relationship is a totally different realm of creation, which is a very interesting place that we learn about mercy, for example, that we learn about hate, that we learn about, I don't know, love. Like all these feelings are being taught to us in these type of relationships. So it's a very valuable source of sort of creation where we learn about the creator. So paying attention to that realm and saying that within these social network, I am feeling challenged about whispers. So I am seeking refuge in him in this sense. And when it comes to Lord, sovereign creator of mankind, we could be thinking that, like, for example, what constitutes the social fabric? Do I consider it to be happening by chance? Do I consider it to be happening by, I don't know, certain philosophical currents are happening here and there, and then let me put a more cartoon-like picture so that you see where I am trying to take you to. Let's say there is a certain super famous atheist which has huge groups of followers. Is this a glitch in the system of creation? And those, let's say, those group of atheist unbelievers and whatnot is killing believers. Is this a something that God created getting out of control? Is this what's happening here? Who is the Lord of that creation? Him, right? So, but I might tend to think sometimes that, it's because of this person, it's because of that ideology and whatnot. Yes, humans do have choices. We do choose wrong things, but at the end of the day, Creator is giving existence to them. If I choose something, but it's not given existence, you wouldn't even notice such a choice is being made, right? Now I am choosing to fly, but still I am sitting here. Like choosing such a thing doesn't make me fly or levitate in the air. So that choice is not being given existence, hence you don't see it. But if I choose to perform an evil act, evil in the sense of I want to kill the guy, the Creator also creates death for that person, then he is the Rabb, Malik, Ilah of that interaction. So who is Malik? Who is the Rabb? Because as I see that, then I can truly complain about a wrongdoer to the Creator. Let's say a group of people are attacking innocents. You open your hands and you ask from whom? From Creator. You say that those people, I complain about them to you because they are your creation. It's not that this is happening out of your power, out of your control. They are yours. You have a wisdom in creating that. Maybe even the wisdom of that creation might be so that I ask. And here I am asking. So then, if it was not like this, for example, if those people were creating their own acts, then there's no point of asking or complaining about them to the Creator. God will say, well, I didn't do anything. They're doing it. Why are you coming to me? If those terrorist people, they're just doing it themselves. Go and ask, find somebody stronger. Like it's beyond me. I have nothing to do with that. Actually, by we asking for anything in this existence, help from the Creator means I know you are the Lord of them. You are the creator of them. You are the king of them or the sovereign of them. This is my understanding. So in this case, I should reconsider what I am saying when I complain about somebody to the Creator. Yes, from their point of view, they make this evil choice, and that choice is evil and belongs to them. This is why they will be held accountable for that. But the creation of the act itself is God's creation. This is why I turn to him and say that you have a wisdom in this creation. So we are touching upon this multiple times throughout these discussions, but I think it's important. So for each creation, there are two aspects. One looks to the abd, why I made that choice. But this is only a choice I make. My choice does not have the power to create anything. And you know it by experience. But thing being created is God's choice as well. The Creator is choosing to create it. So my intention is super single-dimensional intention, but the Creator's will is an all-encompassing will. Multiple wisdom happens out of a single creation. This is why his creation does not have any evil in it, but my choice is evil relative to me. Make sense? This is why I ask from him to the extent that I know him as Rabb, Malik, and Ilah. But if I see it as, no, these are, the human social network, social fabric is so complicated. You never know. There are so many parameters. Somebody comes and says, actually, Tolstoy has a nice war depiction about this. He says there is no rules about war, he says. War has so many parameters, and planning for war is not important, his claim is. And his reasoning is, you might come up with the best plan for the war, but one of the soldiers at the very front line cowardly starts escaping, and everybody else starts escaping, and then things get out of control. This is his claim. But if I see such a thing, for example, if I see the social fabric as such, so many parameters at play, it's really based on the butterfly effect of individual decisions and whatnot, then I would say, which Rabbin Nas, Malikin Nas, Ilahin Nas, what do you talk about? It just happens by chance. Or it's just a combination of all these individual choices. It's very hard to predict, right? So that surah or my supplication or with the surah will become stronger to the extent that I'm convinced who is Lord of mankind, who is the king, the sovereign of mankind, who is the creator of mankind. Or even when it comes to Malikin Nas, since it has this connotation of king, like in secular ideology, what is the idea when it comes to ruling?
Separation.
God, separate church, state, and church, right? Okay, God creates and whatnot, but put it within the walls of the church or the mosque or whatever. When it comes to the social life, we will decide how human interactions are going to happen. Sounds interesting? Then how about when it comes to inheritance for women? Like these are the now tougher questions come into the picture, which sounds a little irritating to modern day, even Muslim people. Or marriage in Islam, women's covering in Islam and whatnot, right? So even your average Muslim nowadays would say, well, I don't know, right? That would start kicking in. So who is the king or the sovereign among mankind? We can figure it out ourselves. We don't need God for that. Is this the idea? Then that means, I think we are the king of mankind. We rule ourselves, we the people, right? So these are all potential things that are sneaking in. So these words are not light to take. If I ask, who is the Lord of humanity? Oh, of course, God. Do you really mean it? Is something that I need to ask myself. Do I really mean that my creator of everything, is also the creator of humanity? Do I see that truth? So that is something to think about. And now, how is that surah related to Rabbil Falaq? قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ, and now Rabbin Nas. Falaq was happening in the outside world. In the creation realm, everything was splitting up from particle to the suns, from the seed to the daybreak. This is why beautifully, one after the other, two verses were using the same word, فَالِقُ الْحَبِّ وَالنَّوَى, فَالِقُ الْإِصْبَاحِ, they follow each other. The Creator was saying that it is the same act. I use the same act in the seed, I use the same act in the day. So everywhere in between, you will see Faliq. Splitting happens, new creation happens. This was creation happening in the outside world, and I seek refuge in Him. Now I am coming to the self as a human. Like the other was a contemplation in afaq, tafakkur afaqi, like a contemplation in the outside world. Now this one, the surah, is taking a contemplation in the human realm, focusing on the human, on the insan as the self, and also human-human relationship as nas. So my attention is now being brought to this second aspect of it. And this will help us when it also comes to understanding jinn. Because it is pretty much the same author is writing a book in the outside world. The same author has written another book in human. And human and humanity is a summary of this huge book of universe. Sometimes it's going to be easy to read parts of the outside book, and sometimes we will go back and read our very tiniest feelings inside. Like, for example, when verse talks about قد سمع الله تجادلك. No, I forgot. So Allah heard the complaint of the woman to you about his husband. Surah At-Talaq. Something as simple as that, in a human realm, the Creator says, I am not hearing that small of a complaint. Somebody between husband and wife, I am hearing this, yet He is also the Creator of the heavens and the earth and everything in between. The Creator says, I do this, I do that too. What does that mean? For you, sometimes you will see mercy, realize mercy, as you are feeling some very faint feeling towards when, let's say, an ant, you're about to step over an ant and you feel that mercy in there. And sometimes you will see the grandeur of the Creator when you see sun rising from a mountaintop. Maybe understanding grandeur would be easier to see when you look at the sun. Understanding mercy would be easier for you in a certain setup when you look at the ant. But the same Creator would say that, look at this book, look at that book, I am the author everywhere. So Falaq was looking for the outside world. Nas is looking for this human realm. And when I say human is a summary of the universe, does this make sense to you, or what do you feel about this? Or does it just sound very poetic? Human is a summary of the universe. Does it mean anything or no? Fahim, what do you think? Sounds very poetic.
It reminds me of the notion that a human has an entire universe contained within him.
Yes, but what does that mean?
So I think that human being is one of the best reflections and mirrors of Allah's sifat.
Mhm.
So you can see even maybe more clearly those kind of characteristics within a human being than you can just within any other part of the body.
So, like for example, you see light in the universe. Human is given eye to benefit from the light. You see food in the universe. Human is given a stomach to benefit from that food. Either as a recipient or as a one-to-one example, whatever you observe as the manifestation of the creator out there, you see that human has a version of it, a form of it. So if you were to say that, oh, when you see an apple in the tree, oh, there's a sustainer, or just look at your stomach. There's an empty stomach here. Oh, there must be a sustainer. You have sounds, voices out there in the existence. You say that, oh, there is a speaker. The creator is speaking through those sounds. Oh, you have an ear, you have a tongue. The one who gave you speech, the one who gave you ear must be speaking, hearing. So these are whatever you observe in the outside world, distributed all over the entire universe, human has it in a single spot, if you like. Yeah.
But you're saying the human being can interact with the universe. That means it has a part of that within itself.
Yeah.
And it would mean that the universe was created for the human
Yes.
because it is intentional.
And very beautifully, you are using that body, I mean, your humanity as a soul, you are using this as a house with which you interact with the whole universe. And you're at the heart, at the center of it, which means you have access to all the names of the creator. But what does that mean? All the manifestations out there in the existence, you are given the potentiality to interact with them. Even, for example, I don't have a wireless receiver myself as a human, but there are waves in the universe. But I am given the ability to make a wireless receiver and learn what it is about, right? Human is given such qualities that whatever is existing out there, they are given the ability to interact with it. What does that mean? The one who keeps manifesting himself in the existence, says, in a human, in a single spot, by just looking at your feelings, how you interact with the existence, you can get to know him the best. And the example that Nurs uses for that is sun has colors, and you see purple color in one flower, yellow color in another fruit, green in another. So all the colors of sun, you can see it everywhere. So if you go through the whole creation and keep counting, oh, sun has this tone of color, this tone of color, this tone of color, see the whole universe and come up with a list of colors, right? Just look at a single spot of water, which has the complete reflection of sun on it. By just looking at the single spot of water, you can also arrive to the same conclusion. Oh, sun has all these different colors, and it's on a single spot. So human is such a single spot. And Nursi puts it as, the first example is manifestation of wahid. The second one is ahad. In a single spot, all the names are being manifest. So human is such a creation. So this is why falaq was a manifestation of wahid, and now Nas is manifestation of ahad. In a single focal point, human is manifesting all the divine names. Okay. So a few more questions. I'll keep these short. Why repetition of mankind 3 times? Like it could have been, the wording of these verses could have been, قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّي وَمَلِكِ وَإِلَهِ النَّاسِ. But it keeps saying, رَبِّ النَّاسِ, مَلِكِ النَّاسِ, إِلَهِ النَّاسِ. So the relationship between Rabb and Nas is being brought to my attention. Do not take this lightly. Do not simply say that, oh, these are just God's names. And it would be okay if you just discarded the 2 and just said that Ilahi Nas. I would be okay with that. So nothing is wasteful in Quran. Because every word, every letter is being put with infinitely many wisdom in there. So this, as I keep saying this, I need to question and re-question myself. Who is Rabbin Nas, who is Malikin Nas, who is Ilahin Nas? It's likely that I am missing something that the Creator keeps repeating these words. It might be saying that, oh, Yusuf, when it comes to Ilahin Nas, yeah, you say that it is me, it's Creator. But when it comes to King, you start ascribing partners. When it comes to Rab, you start ascribing partners. Re-evaluate who is Rabbin Nas, who is Malikin Nas, who is Ilahin Nas. And they give many more meanings, like the scholars talk about even those Nas, three Nas, not being the same Nas, they are being used for different meanings. But I will not get into that. I mean, they talk about different circles of humanity. They mention. Yes.
So I think there's like a causal relationship between them. So like the first one, the Rabbin Nas is like basically the maintainer and the sustainer of humankind or mankind, which makes him the owner or overseer, which means he's like the one who created.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there's this ordering of names as opening of parentheses and becoming specific and specific, saying that maintainer is whomever is maintaining you would have word for your every day-to-day activities as well, and is your creator at every moment of your life. This is why I cannot separate this part of my life belongs to him, that part of my life does not. I cannot make such a separation, not for myself, not for the society, for the humanity. Okay, now that this was the intro, this is the part that brought people here. Jinns are coming. Okay. Min sharril waswasil khannas, from the evil of the sneaking whisperer. الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس, who whispers in the chest of mankind or the people. The last verse is min al-jinnati wan nas, which we will come in the next. Of jinn and of people. So that's coming. So sharril waswasil khannas, let's focus on that. What's a whisper? What's waswasa, if you know that word better? Have you ever experienced waswasa? Salam.
Insinuation.
Insinuation? What's that?
Someone,
Someone.
getting you to do something. They're not gonna do it themselves, but they'll get you to do it.
Sneaking.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're not gonna outright tell you to do something, or they kind of like build up to it, kind of imply you do something without actually saying.
Okay, that's very good of a characterization for the nature of, or why, because I was about to ask why it is characterized as sneaking. So the whisper, yeah.
So I guess I also think of that like a suggestion. So it's like, oh, like you can do this, you don't have to. And maybe it's like considered sneaking as like, because it's like, if you do it, that's your choice. And it's like, there was no like authority, like actually commanding you to do whatever thing that maybe you weren't supposed to do. So that's like sneaking, like you can do it, but then don't have to.
The question comes in a very friendly manner, right? So like, I think you pray 5 times a day. I mean, good, but do you have to do it really? I mean, I'm worried about you, like in the morning and whatnot, it's cold. I mean, of course you're free, but So that friendly suggestion is coming there. And sometimes it sounds very quote unquote objective in the sense that, yeah, it's cold in the morning, taking wudu and whatnot, so it's too much. So coming in a friendly manner, Or sometimes using different tricks, such as look at all those people who are not praying, and who is wrong. I mean, just look at the people. How many people pray? How many people do not pray? And at the end of the day, both go to grave. So why not enjoy your life like the rest of the people? Do I started sounding like Satan?
You can pray at the end of your life.
Yeah, I mean, you have important things to do. After you retire, you'll just do it all together. Or you can give charity. I mean, there are different ways of being good at the end of the day. Like this shouldn't be the only way, is it? So, and there are people who was asking that. It was last Friday, like atheist friend. Like they are good people. Like you don't have to pray to be good. Look, that guy is good. So many such things. And if you start thinking about it and say, what do you mean by goodness and whatnot? I didn't mean to offend you, sort of. I mean, this stepping back, in some translations, they like sneaking whisper, some of them translated as like the word An-Nas has this notion of stepping back and forth, like saying something, stepping back, then coming forth again, then stepping back. So just to seed some doubt in there. I mean, do not become like this fighter of some idea or something. Just put in some idea, step back or suggestion, step back and see what that person is doing.
Other companies advertise.
Ooh, companies, how they advertise. Like you feel like if you drive this car, although you don't have long hair, if you were to, it would be just flowing so nice with the wind and you would be super satisfied. Ooh, this is the part that they hide. So many such suggestions could be there, right? And this is called waswasa. I guess another version of it could happen. I don't know if you experienced this, but you're taking wudu. Oh, did I wash it perfectly? There was something left dry over here. Like keep washing and washing and washing. We had one brother back in the day. He used to almost take a shower in the like taking a normal wudu. Like he would take wudu and everything, and then at the end, the last part of his ritual was, and his full water, he just was putting his finger under the water like this. Like all the fingers were getting soaked. Like, man, just that's it, right? But he was trying to perfect his wudu somehow. But this is another whisper. Your wudu is not accepted. What if there is a dry thing over here? Then your prayer would not get accepted. And you wouldn't know that it didn't get accepted. But once you get to afterlife, they will show you the bill like they do with the parking tickets, right? You didn't know that the guy was there. And then there's no escape. It's already too late. You have to pay for it, right? And you're already dead. In the afterlife, you will burn. Well, better not be sorry later. So let's take another wudu. 5 times taking wudu for one prayer. Have you ever seen people like that?
I'm kind of like that.
Yeah, I have seen many people like that. And I have been like that at some point. And to resist to that, I started saying that, no, I will pray 3 prayers, accept it or not. Just with that wudu, I'll go with that. To fight against this, because sneakiness is there. If you say, well, whatever, so okay, it's up to you. I don't say anything. Yeah. I mean, if you burn in the hell, it's up to you. Oh, I didn't say anything. Burn? No burning. But then you feel like somebody is like this funny look is somebody is looking at you, making fun of you. But this is the notion of this waswas over there. This is just one flavor of it. Sometimes we call it as perfection. You're trying to do it the best. Like do and redo one paragraph of a paper. Redo the figure. Like I become obsessed like this when I was trying to write my proposal, because whatever paragraph I write, my advisor was changing it anyways. So I start becoming obsessed so much. I write a sentence, erase it. Write a sentence, erase it. What would he think about the sentence? How would he find some mistake in that, right? It becomes an obsession. 3 hours passes, not even a single paragraph is written. So it grows so big on you. But these are all different versions of this whispers. And it might show itself in different flavors in your life. And it's sneaking. But now we are talking about the evil of the whisperer. So what is evil about those whispers? And another question, so let me put all the questions. Is whispering a job of someone? Because it looks like someone is called whisperer, as if this is what this guy is made for. Like his job is to whisper. How about the evilness of whispers? Or even, I have another question. Okay, it's coming at the very end, but let me put it this way. Is human being made vulnerable to whispers? Is it a bug in the creation of humans? God tried his best, but couldn't do it any better. So Satan got out of control, and he's messing up with you guys. And God says, sorry, well, I mean, now the child is here. So is this by design? Or is it somebody getting out of control? What is the role of whispers for human? Is it purely evil or no?
What I'm wondering is if humans themselves are fine without whispers. Like, are whispers the reason why we tend towards making mistakes or doing bad things, or are whispers the encouragement that already speak to those feelings inside of us?
I mean, definitely it should speak to some feelings inside you, because otherwise I wouldn't even notice it or wouldn't care about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I don't have any desire whatsoever for driving a car, if somebody says, well, this is stick shift, this is like automatic, I wouldn't care at all. If I have a desire to drive the car and then options starts coming up, then this is when things start becoming tricky, right? So humans do have many of those feelings, but now somebody coming up with choices or suggestions which has no truth behind it, though. Like there's a correct choice, correct course of action to be taken, and then there are all those nonsense suggestions, such as, وَوَسْوَسَ لَهُمَ الشَّيْطَانُ, like this very easy waswasa, right? Adam and Eve was whispered by Satan, saying that, oh, if you eat from that tree, you will become eternal or become like angels. Does it have any truth? No. But were they in need of, or did they have desire for eternity? Yes, they do. But what Satan suggested didn't have any basis. Like a tree would give me eternity? Like, what do you mean? The tree itself is being made. Could it give me something that it doesn't own in the first place? What sort of a suggestion is that? We should have said. But we fall for it. When somebody shows me that car and super satisfiedness, I feel like if I buy the car, I would get satisfied. Like the car itself, how does the car give me satisfaction? What are you talking about? Yes, go on.
I feel like people do and need support for bad behavior, and I think a word that you said that was very important was that these whispers are like coming in a friendly manner.
Mhm.
Because I feel like something that I'm seeing in friends now as well is like this trend of like, if I'm doing something bad, I'll only do it if you do it with me. For example, if I'm on a diet, right? Like, and I want to eat ice cream, I'll be like, yeah, I want ice cream. Do you want ice cream too? And if they want ice cream, then it's perfectly fine because we're both doing that bad thing together.
Mhm.
So it's like, if you get support in doing something bad, then it's almost as if it's okay. And these whispers, like, it seems as if they always speak to like bad things that you want to do. And they support that, and they're like, oh, it's fine. They're basically giving you what you want to hear and what appeases or pleases your base desires.
Yes, that is true. And it becomes more and more dangerous when it comes to a point where it affects my eternal life. Like for eating a ice cream, maybe I am damaging my health for 60 years of life. But what if the suggestion is coming and saying that, well, maybe things happen by themselves. Why do you say God does it? Or you say this is speech of God? How do you know? Like, it's human words, isn't it? Humans speak words like this. What if a human made this? How do you know? Consider it as a word of man and read it with that lens. Just be objective. Would it sound unlikely? These are all potential suggestions out there, and which sound grammatically correct. If you don't pay attention, it might even sound logically correct, although they are not. But if I do not pay attention, it might even sound like objective, scientifically proven, or this and that. It would come in all these flavors. This is when it becomes, actually, this is the ultimate goal of whispers. Initially, it might start with your wudu, or it might start with your ice cream and whatnot. But this is where it starts becoming much real. Because now it is affecting the purpose of your life ultimately. For bad. But how about for good? Is it evil, purely evil? Are those whispers purely evil?
Is that then a whisper? Would it be a different term for it?
No, still whisper. Like, is Satan whispering Adam alayhi salam? Was it something out of control of the creator? Was it a defect of human? That human is made vulnerable to listening to that Satan thingy? Or was it by design? Was Adam meant to hear? It was part of Adam's training and your and my training that we hear those whispers, we evaluate them. Although I shouldn't, but time to time I will fall, make the wrong choice, immediately realize that it was wrong. I will feel naked. This is how, in the story of Adam alayhi salam, right? They feel naked, meaning I was hoping to get covered up with the fruit. It was supposed to give me eternity. When I eat it, I realize that I am naked. I'm just, somebody tricked me. It's not covering anything. I realized my neediness, my vulnerability to that. Then I repent and erase that mistake. Satan would never get to me from the same door again. Believer is not going to be deceived from the same door twice. You can, although I shouldn't, well, let me give it a try. This is not the attitude. You try your best and whatnot with your choice, but you can fall for it. This is why Adam alayhi salam's story is telling us. But you will immediately be, the creator will make you realize that you're naked. But then, are you going to repent? Or are you going to argue against, as Satan did? Satan made a mistake, but he argued against it. He said that you deceived me. And as a response to you deceiving me, I am going to sit in front of their path. Like your humans, I will sit before their path to truth, to guidance, like taking revenge. Couldn't one do the same as a human? Say, well, Adam alayhi salam, if he were to say that, God, okay, but you created this Satan thing, and Satan gave this suggestion to me with your creation, And you made me in a way that I could make the wrong choice. So it looks like everything is because of you. I didn't do anything. You're the one responsible for me choosing the wrong choice. So for you making me choose the wrong, this is the path of Satan, right? Satan. So taking the responsibility of my choice is human's duty in here. Wrongness of choices from me. If it was a correct choice, because you guided me. So the credit goes to you for the correct choice. Because you educated me, you gave me all those tools and everything. I was already supposed to choose the right. But if I go ahead and still choose the wrong, I take the responsibility. For the creation of the outcome, the creator creates it because he has many wisdom behind my wrong perspective. But right after realizing I need to erase it. So whisper is, what is the evil of the whisper then? Sticking with it is the wrong thing. Otherwise, the creation of whispers, even the creation of Satan is khair, is good, like in the good and evil sense of the word, it is good from the creation point of view. Like in a multiple choice question, wrong choices are good to be put in there next to the right choice. Because the point of those multiple choice question is so that I learn, I can distinguish what's right, what's wrong. Choosing the wrong choice is wrong, not the creating of wrong choice. So Satan's whispers being there is good from a creation point of view. It is a necessary part of human education. But I seek refuge in An-Nas, An-Nas, An-Nas from the evil of those whispers, though. Because there could be an evil of those whispers if I do not interact with them in the proper way. If I insist on choosing the wrong, then, or if I start taking it to be real, although it is just an imaginary thing. Satan was saying that this fruit gives you eternity. If I start taking it for real, if I buy this car, I'm going to be the happiest man on earth. If I marry this person, I'm going to be satisfied forever. All different types of whispers in there, which we might be noticing or not noticing. Like, yeah.
So you're saying we can't blame all the addicts in Kensington on our bins?
So those addicts, of course, you come there after steps, so you get to there. So you make a choice, the creator creates the outcome. You make a choice, the creator creates the outcome. But you should have say, I made a mistake and step back. If I insist on making the wrong choice, I am being held accountable for that. So this is why when we come to jinn, what is jinn? We will ask that question. Are we talking about an entity like human? We'll see that. We'll talk about that. And I'm not going to take it metaphorically, I guarantee you. Yes.
So I guess that example kind of made me think about like addiction more instead of like the practicality of, like saying, oh, I should realize that I made a mistake and then step back from it is one thing, but like in our lives, there are so many like things, like not just drugs and stuff that are like addictive, but like the lifestyle we live in the West is full of things that are meant to be like addicting so that we keep consuming things. So it's like, I guess my question is sort of like, at what point is it, because I guess for me, it's like it's like something that feels kind of out of like the realm of my control to be able to even realize it.
Yeah.
Like, for example, a drug is designed so that once you take it one time, then that's it, like you're addicted to it. So practically how do you seek refuge from things like that?
Very good question. Can we find the answer in these verses? An-Nas, An-Nas, An-Nas. What is governing humanity? paying attention to those relations? Is it happening by random, by chance? Like, why? Like, I mean, since Atik is my friend, I can pick up on him. What is the purpose of a car going from point A to point B? But there are how many different types of cars in the market that does the same job, right? Why would you choose one over the other? Convenience. And let's say I don't want to visit the mechanic that frequently. Some of them might be like, I don't want to visit mechanic too often. This is why I don't go with cars of make 80s and 90s, right? Let's say they are now too old. How about 2000? Well, 2010. No, it should be 2024. Like what? Like all different levels of desire for a car. And in the society that you live in, there's a certain norm that is set, and you feel like you have to match this. You don't need to. So these are the places where practically a very good example of where it's coming into. Am I aware of that? Maybe I'm not aware of it at all. So this surah, by focusing on An-Nas rather than insan, could also say that within humanity, within the social fabric, we have those whispers, and as it will come, min al-jinnati wan-nas, those whispers come from jinn, but also from nas as well. From the society, you are hearing many of those whispers. Are you aware of that? Just consider it with that lens. Maybe this is just a whisper. Do you have to do that? And seeking refuge in the Creator of that is a wake-up call to myself, trying to make myself aware that such things are out there. So do not take things for granted as a friendly suggestion, like buy this car and you're going to be happy forever. Like, is it really? Ask that question. Because we were talking with a friend. Now, apparently nowadays a lot of refugees are coming from Turkey or through Mexico, and they have some YouTube channels which show how you can buy a car for $300 in the US. And then people in Turkey are thinking that $300 a car, wow, how cheap it is. Because in Turkey, you buy one car for yourself and pay the same amount to the government. I was talking to my sister. She just recently bought a car. She says, we buy another car for the president. So when we buy one for ourselves, we buy one for the president. So like they say, oh, it's so expensive here. Just 300 in the US. Let's go to US. So they are coming into here to realize that it's not like this. And he said that like 6 of those recently committed suicide or so, because they put a lot of money, like take that, come to here and realize that this is not how it is. So somebody is luring you into that just so that they will have more clicks for their YouTube video and they will earn money, right? So, but you would say that, well, in your sanity, you should ask that question before getting on that plane. What if it's wrong? But apply it to yourself, myself. They say, oh, if you get this into that job, you're going to be guaranteed forever and you'll be happy. People will praise you, and computer science, tenure professor and whatnot, right? Is it going to give me the satisfaction? I should ask that question. So being or putting the social into scrutiny like this and saying that, oh, my Creator, save me from those. But what does it mean practically to seek refuge in the Creator? It's not only opening your hands. Take guidance from the Quran. At the end, we will make this time, but let's do it right now as we are running out of time. Quran started with Alhamdulillah, well, in the second surah, Hudan lil Muttaqeen, and it's guidance for the God conscious. And even we started Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim in the first surah, guide us to the right path. And now we are concluding with seeking refuge in Him. So how do you seek refuge? Go back to the beginning and start seeking refuge in Him through seeking guidance in the Quran. Rather than trying to seek guidance in the social norms or what shall I buy next by some Instagram influencer. Like this is becoming our guidance nowadays, right? Rather than that, and this is why it became like a tradition to when you make the dua of Hatm al-Quran, you recite the last surahs, you recite Fatiha, you recite the first page of Baqarah, you say, it didn't finish, go back to the beginning, right? So the guidance keeps happening and happening. And there was a very interesting symbolic meaning that classical ulama mentioned. Says, Quran started with Bismillah, with letter B, and it ends with letter S, Nas. So it says Bas, like everything in between is sufficient for you. You don't need any other guidance. So like an interesting symbolic reading from Quran, they say this is enough for you. Quran is enough for you. Just based on 2 letters of Quran, they extract. So this is how I guess just the state of seeking refuge is enlightening or alerting. But if you are alert about something, you will look for ways. What would be the way? It's right in front of you. Seek refuge through seeking guidance in Quran, through prophetic guidance. Okay, so I guess let's stop here. And next week, why would you seek refuge in Lord, King, God of mankind from the evil of the whisperer? Fi sudur An-Nas, it's in certain translations, they were translating it as in the heart of mankind, but sadr is chest. So, and I think there is an important distinction why it is not fi qulub An-Nas, but fi sudur An-Nas. What does it signify? That the whispers happen at the chest of human and not at the heart. And then what does whispers being sourced outside signify? They are not your own. They are being whispered to you. What is the importance of that? So this is another question to think about. And we talked about this. Is being vulnerable to whispering a human defect? We talked about that no, it's by design. Human is meant to. And there are many hadith like this when Rasulullah says, for Adam alayhi salam, I need to go to the original hadith for that. But there's a narration that I remember which says, I was meant to make this mistake even before anything was created. So it is human is meant to be in this state. It's not a defect. It's not a bug in the system. And inshallah, when it comes to jinn, min al-jinnat wan-nas, we'll talk about those questions. Who are jinn? Do they exist? What is the evidence for it? How do you, if at all, interact with the jinn? An-Nas, of the mankind, what does it mean that sneaking whispers is of the mankind too? It looks like there are whispers of mankind as well as of jinn. And then what is the relationship between man and jinn that they are provided as sharing a common ground in this verse? Inshallah, we'll talk about that. I have some further verses and a hadith when it comes about jinn. Inshallah, next week we will talk about that. Any concluding comments? سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعواهم أن الحمد لله رب العالمين الفاتحة